Right, let's begin. I'm very excited to see you all. Today we will be talking about how you can source on thomasnet.com, specifically how you can search, evaluate, and connect with over 500,000 US and Canadian suppliers completely for free. Before we start today, I'm going to give you an overview about the webinar content. We'll spend a few minutes for us to explain to you who we are at Thomas, why you should trust our data, and how we have been connecting North American supply community for over 123 years. And then we're going to jump right in and talk about the key features on how you can search, evaluate, and connect with the suppliers. Throughout this presentation, I will be using a PowerPoint presentation, and our producer Mariah has already actually shared a link as a Google slide deck on the chat box. So for those of you who like to follow along, feel free to pop over, click the link, and the Google slide deck should be in front of you. And if you have any difficulties listening to my audio via your VoIP service, feel free to also look for your GoToWebinar email and look for your specific phone dial-in information, and perhaps dial in using your cell phone or your telephone. Now, this is like a really nice segue for me to jump over and do the most, normal COVID-19 induced pandemic thing. Feel free to submit your question anytime. I always like to address Q&A sometimes in the middle of the moment or towards the end. And we'll also circulate a copy with the presentation of the resources that you need. And I'm just going to explain who I am quickly. So I'm the VP of Platform Growth and Engagement for Thomas. My key role at Thomas is really to make sure all of you can source and find the right suppliers. But on top of that, I speak to many Fortune 1000 as well as small and medium enterprises, gather intelligence about supply chain opportunities and bottlenecks, and then disseminate all this information back at you. And we also on the call have Mariah. Mariah, would you like to say hi to everyone?
Sure, thanks, Kathy. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining today. My name is Mariah Hauk. I'm the audience development lead here at Thomas. So I help put together things like our quarterly surveys, reports, and this webinar. So today I'm going to be on the back end, making sure everything runs smoothly. I'll also be fielding your questions. So if you want to drop a question in that question box on your screen, I'll help answer it. Kathy will also give some live demos and answer questions at the end. So thanks again for joining, and I'm going to pass it back to Kathy.
Great. And since we have over 100 of you like showing up already in this webinar, I like to always just get a sense of who are, your friends and new community members in this webinar. Mariah, would you queue up the poll, please? Let's find out, who we have on today's webinar. So while you're answering the poll, I'll give you some fun fact. We've been running this quarterly welcome webinar, and I always would like to, personally welcome you as a cohort of discovering thomasnet.com. The majority of our users usually come from general manufacturing, but throughout the last few years when we're running this webinar, we noticed that there are a lot of inventors, educators, government officials, definitely a lot of huge buyers from Fortune 1000 companies, but also many small, medium businesses trying to figure out how to overcome supply chain new challenges every single day. So I can see we have about 70% voted. Let's give everyone 2 seconds. All right, Mariah, we can queue up the result so you know who you are with in today's webinar. Right, so like I predicted, we have 23% of you in general manufacturing, the biggest subgroup. Tons of wholesale, retail, professional, logistics, and 5% engineers. And 39%, we usually actually get a lot of medical, healthcare, and consultants on our calls as well. Now, let's jump in. I think you're here for mainly understanding how thomasnet.com can actually be your important resource. Thomas was founded in 1898, and you might have known us from the Big Green Book. About 2 decades ago, we've transformed into a digital data and technology platform. We help over thousands of manufacturers kind of capitalize on digitalization of e-catalog, as well as having a strong online presence. On thomasnet.com specifically, while you're here today, we will walk you through how different industry use our tools. Speaking of industry, the power of thomasnet.com is vast. Our users come across sectors like aerospace and defense, agriculture, automotive, all the way to telecom and textile and apparel industrial professionals. And we now have 1.5 million registered users who are using our platform to source. In addition, we have over 70 and sorry, I have had too many coffees myself. In addition, we have 570,000 US and Canadian suppliers across 76,000 categories. For example, adhesive and sealants, automation and electronics, chemicals, all the way down to, you know, raw materials like alloy and zinc. So I always say, you know, from alloy to zinc, anything you can think of for the industry from A to Z, Thomas has the right list of suppliers from US and Canada for your needs. Now, there are 3 things you can do, and I want you to walk away from this webinar knowing, you know, at the top of your mind that you can search, evaluate, and connect with all of the suppliers. So let's jump right in. Number 1, I'd like to talk you through the search features and all the advanced filters that can save you dozens of clicks per search on the internet. What do I mean by that? So let me actually queue up my thomasnet.com website, and we can use a live example together. And for those who are on the call, feel free to drop in, you know, your questions and say, Kathy, apart from looking at fasteners, I would like to look at other supplies as well, because we learn from you the most when we're doing live demo. So like you see, when you land on thomasnet.com, there's a reason why you're registered onto today's webinar. You might have found us through word of mouth or Google. You can actually also come onto thomasnet.com bookmark it and then search for any suppliers that you're specifically looking for. Now, when I talk about our unique data structure, this is important. When you're looking for a new suppliers, a lot of our buyers tell us that having the firmographic information of our suppliers are very helpful. What do I mean by that? We have a team of supplier content analysts, and for over 100 years, they have been structurally validating who the suppliers in our database are, including data points such as the number of estimated employees, annual revenue projected, as well as the type of manufacturers they are. When you finish your search query on the left-hand side, you will start seeing a lot of really powerful information and data points. For example, the inventors in this group or the engineers in this group, you may be more interested in prototyping or small order kind of capability or custom manufacturing. As you can see under the search results, we have 4,552 suppliers, but maybe you're mostly interested in someone who can prototype for you. And here you actually can check the box and limit your search results to custom manufacturers only, or other, you know, if you're looking for parts and material, you can speak to a distributor directly too. Now, the other really interesting aspect we hear a lot from our buyers is that because of current international shipment challenges, for example, a shipment from China, I heard, you know, from 3 years ago before the pandemic, it was around $1,500 a shipment from China to the West Coast. As of recently, I heard that number jumped to over 20,000. In one webinar I was in, someone reported $25,000 a shipment. So if you want to mitigate your supply chain risk and start looking for USA-based suppliers, we recently introduced a new structured data point called Origin Declaration. So when you check the box made in the USA, these are the suppliers that self-declare to us that they are capable and they have the ability to serve US specific materials and products. Now, for the engineers on the call, you may say, hey, Kath, you know, great, all of that's fantastic, but everything I do has to hit the ITAR certificate, or if you work in medical or nutraceutical production, you may say, I want an FDA clean room filter in my search result. So fear not, we actually have over 150 filters for certifications, and you can just look through the certifications, check what you need, and we'll filter the search results for you. In addition, some of you may be working for Fortune 1000 or for government procurement spend, and you may have a diversity spend goal to hit, or this is something that you believe in. Either way, we actually have additional ownership and diversity filter for all the search results that you see. I'm going to delve a little bit deeper more into it, but anytime when you search for a category on thomasnet.com, you will see that additional filter on the left-hand side. And finally, I think by the way, when I talk about the FDA Clean Room Food certification, it's usually filed under other certification and registration. Now, some of you may say, hey, Kath, this is fantastic, but sometimes I want to find a supplier that's really physically near us. And yes, this is something that you can do as well. So when I talk about firmographic information, our supplier content team actually document all suppliers based on their office location, but also radius served. So I'm going to show you the first data point, their office location, and then the radius served data point as well. Say I am based in New York in the Catskills. I'm just going to put in a generic New York postcode and click search. And within seconds, you can see within 50 miles, I have around 339 suppliers at my fingertips. And a lot of times, you haven't met these communities of manufacturers. Sometimes I find that, the year of the company found is a very good indicator, usually enduring companies is a reason for succeeding over time. So that's a great indicator as to, you can compare all of these suppliers quite easily by eyeballing these firmographic information. Now, another thing you may say is, okay, now I know this sounds like a great distributor, or this is actually exactly what I'm looking for, a certified manufacturer of Swiss screw machine products, right? You can pop over, click the search result, and actually go a lot deeper into each supplier profile. By scrolling through this, you can just really quickly take a look at the suppliers and who they are. And actually, every single introduction of the business description has been verified again by a supplier content team. So we are not just copy and pasting what people are saying on their website, but we actually go into their e-catalog, paper catalog website to try to really triangulate the capability and present a very important essential summary for you. In addition, when you're looking for fasteners, you may just be thinking this is a great manufacturer for that particular capability. But sometimes there is a value in looking at what are the other products and services provided by this manufacturer. So you will see how we also use the Thomas taxonomy to present the additional capabilities of the suppliers. Say if I'm really looking for someone that can do custom manufacturing and they do fastening and they're already a manufacturing fastening, by seeing that they are also a provider in prototyping, ring, rivets, screws, all of these additional metal parts, you know that they might be really good in precision engineering as well. So yes, for the nerds in this group, I just want you to know that the taxonomy is a very powerful tool at Thomas, because we do have 76,000 different headings and categories where we map each supplier to. Now, you may say, okay, so I'm not an engineer. I don't need to know this much details. I'm a head of procurement for a big company. How do I share this information with my internal team? So with our company pages, you actually can click a request report button. And within 30 minutes, we will actually send you an extremely in-depth report. So like a cooking show host, I have actually created a few examples for you ahead of time. This is a really good example of distributors on Thomas, Elite Fasteners. So you can see that within one click, you have access to this report that's 12 pages long. Sometimes some manufacturers will have longer description based on the capabilities. And when you scroll through this company profile, you can see all the structured data on the search results, but more importantly, important data point about diversity certifications, quality certifications, and additional registrations as well. And the capability map that I just showed you is also in this report. And as I scroll further down, this is my favorite part of Thomas. I call it my major hidden Easter egg. So instead of you having to click, 16 times searching fastener in a search engine, and then kind of go to the website and try to dig and really delve really deep into every single new website, and they put things in different places, we always have all information in one place for you. So here you can see that we even have a PDF image of the FM approval certification of this particular company. And you will see, when this certification expired. As you scroll down, you will see different certification at different date, at different data points. And we can only do the best we can based on what the supplier supplied us. But this is a very important foundational work done for you, so that you can say, hey, I got your information from Thomas. This is when things are issued. Do you have any update recently? So that probably can save most buyers a significant amount of time. Now, back to where we were. To recap, I started this journey in showing you fastener search. And yep, I think Victor has a good question. Let me take a quick look. Corrugated container board. Okay, so this is a good one. So let me just make sure I am typing it. Container, right. So doesn't it like we have corrugated container board specifically, but let me just jump into corrugated containers and see if this is closer to what Victor is thinking about. And Victor, remember, whenever you're looking for something you can't find, we have a special feedback tab. When you click this feedback on any heading and search result, you actually can tell us, hey, I'm looking for something more specific than this. Can you help me out? But you may not need to do it because there is actually a really fantastic use case here. I'm going to scroll lower to the left-hand side, and I'm going to actually look at the search result and just type in the word board and see if I can find any search results within corrugated container suppliers who can do boards. So pardon me, Victor, I think I've learned a lot more about precision machining, CNC, and additive manufacturing lately, but I have to say container board is not my forte right now. Maybe you can educate me a little bit more. But within this user case, you can see that, for example, quality support in PA, Philadelphia, they do chipboard, fiberboard, and paperboard, cardboard. So I'm hoping that one of the materials is what you're looking for. But if it's not, again, you can just actually extend your search results and refine your query string within the search result. So using that example, you can see that there are 113 suppliers. Now I can see Cindy. Oh, Cindy asked a really good question. Are you able to see customer reviews? Not at this moment, but eventually we're thinking about introducing new features where people can share testimonials, a little bit like LinkedIn for suppliers. That's something that we're toying about. So that's a really good kind of product suggestion. Thank you, Cindy. Now, let's actually delve a little bit deeper. I'm going to swing back into the PowerPoint deck. You will see me kind of traversing between the two. And this is a very good way to recap what we just talked about. So we started talking about search, and I showed you step one is to bookmark thomasnet.com and start searching. Within the search results, there are a lot of structured data, a lot of summary information. I've already covered, the structure from graphic data where you can find out a company's location, their capability, and the shipping radius of their capabilities, and also years found, expertise, and capabilities. To recap, the taxonomy map about this company where apart from fastener, they do washers and screws and all of that. That's capability. And certifications are another really important data point. And like I said, you can jump in and look at any company's kind of little bullet points about where they are, how big they are. Definitely use a search within search results. And also, I also mentioned that if you are a supplier yourself, whether or not you're already listed on Thomas, you can pop over to this form, and Mariah will make sure you have all the URLs by the end of this presentation, where you can tell Thomas if you're USA capable in your manufacturing process. Then create that declaration will help you potentially hit federal and public funding as well, because there's 1.3 trillion infrastructure money coming down from the top. One thing I haven't shown you just now is the location served right-hand filter. This is the kind of shipping radius capability that I was explaining. Say if you're looking for container corrugated boards and you want to find someone that was shipped to you, and perhaps you're in Hawaii or Alaska where shipment is just a little bit more challenging, you can always just pop over to the left rail to make sure the location served hits where you physically are. And this is a question we also get asked a lot. Throughout Thomas, you will see these little really kind of cool badges with the blue badges, Thomas Register, Thomas RFIs, and Sometry Partner. So let me spend 2 minutes explaining to you who they are. So any suppliers, as long as you have a website and you're registered with the government in the USA and Canada, you can register and create a free listing on Thomas at no cost to you for buyers to discover your services. But if you want to actually elevate your profile and increase the amount of impressions and brand awareness of your capability within a very niche market, Thomas can help you. So for our advertising partners, they can actually be a registered buyer, a registered supplier or a verified supplier, where we will additionally vet your information and expand your profile and even syndicate your e-commerce capability on thomasnet.com, so people don't have to click through the website to find that you might have certain capabilities like, you know, transmitter, or you have like a great catalog of pumps and valves. You just want people to see it on thomasnet.com and then click to buy on your site. In addition, I'm really excited to say that we've been recently acquired by Xometry, and they're the world's leading marketplace for custom manufacturing. So you will see that for certain manufacturers, they will have the Xometry logo next to them, which means that we are capable in providing you with real-time lead time pricing information for the parts you upload on Xometry.com. So that's an exciting tool for you as well, because I've been doing a lot of research, and it looks like metal and metal parts are one of the most needed kind of raw materials and products in our industry right now. So if you are experiencing any shortages in that department, pop over to Xometry.com and upload your 3D file, and you may actually get a great instant quote today. So final bits of my recap. There are a few more things I've shown you. You can also filter by quality certifications. I want to actually pop back onto the main site now. We've done the recap. I wanted to show you guys how I can actually look for a new supplier and filter by veteran-owned business. So let's see, this time I can see Anna Marie has a question. Oh, this is perfect. So can you find suppliers that provide software solution? Absolutely, right? So I'm just gonna type software solution or just software. At this point, you'd be like, Kath, oh my goodness. We have 9,000 suppliers. And great question, Anne-Marie. This is actually a good start because you actually can click the more button and you can see how our taxonomy team are able to break down software by very specific details, you know, from nutritional software to inventory control. So let me assume that Marie's interested in inventory control software. So at this point, we have 578 suppliers, and say Veteran Day, it happened already, but next year is coming up and you're creating a promotional campaign, or you really just want to source from veteran-owned business. Here, I can just check this box. And this is like a list of veteran-owned businesses that specialize in inventory control software system. And Michelle, I also saw that you're asking where are the feedback buttons. So the feedback buttons are everywhere on thomasnet.com. Whenever you go onto any pages on thomasnet.com, when you slow down and look at the right-hand side near the scroll bar, you will see that there is a feedback button right there. You click it and you can tell us if you want to give us like generic feedback or specific feedback about any part of our website. And funny enough, we have over 50 Thomas staff like hovering over that feed, and we get real-time update about who's asking what question. So so that's the tool. Now, Megan also has a question. I'm primarily searching for end users of certain recyclable materials. So that's a really interesting question. I'll explain, right? Like, we don't really show the end users in our search results, but if you're looking for recyclable, and we can give you recyclable. Sorry, this is where my British spelling and American spelling kind of clash, because, you know, we keep it in the UK. So recyclable, let's see, materials. We don't have a direct hit, but what is interesting is we do have this amazing newsletter. You guys are so great. You make me jump around, but I think this is more fun and interactive. Eventually, towards the end of this presentation, I'll share with you that we have a fantastic section on our website, Thomas Insights. And on a monthly basis, we actually send 300,000 newsletter to all manufacturing professionals. And within that cohort of daily active newsletter subscribers, we have people from all across of lives, from innovators, CEOs to, I'm pretty sure there are end users of certain recyclable materials. And if you're interested in bringing your services and materials to the readers of TIU or to the 1.5 million visitors of thomasnet.com, we do have advertising solution where you can pop over to, find buyer section on Thomas, and then you can pop over to the advertise page. I'm just going to click there really quickly, and there are all the capability for you to reach new audiences. And my first suggestion, though, is if you have a business that can serve the Thomas community, go pop over, list your business, and our team will follow up with you on how to help you reach more users. And the reason why I'm not going really deep into it is my main mission is to help procurement professional be connected to the best suppliers they need. So I'm not here to sell Thomas to you. I'm here really to indicate to you where are the most important and powerful tools. So feel free to keep asking those questions. You're welcome, Michelle. And yes, can we find suppliers in the transportation industry? Absolutely. So again, this is my, I'll use it as a last example, and then I want to show you some really cool feature on the second part of this presentation. So when you type in logistic or shipping, there are tons of suppliers you can get access to as well. Now, swinging back to the main kind of gist of the presentation, I kind of walk you through how you can filter by, veteran-owned businesses or certification. But I think there's a really powerful way of using Thomas, which is, when you're doing a lot of research, like even looking for a restaurant or booking a flight to travel, you always have to create like a little notebook of all the things that you're capturing and all the data points. For Thomas, we actually have a way for you to organize all structured data, shortlisting them, and exporting them into an Excel-friendly format. Maybe you can even upload information directly into your procurement database. So let's spend a few minutes talking about that. One really good example I have is recently we're seeing a lot of sourcing activities around pumps. So I'm going to use that as an example. So say there are 3,700 plus suppliers in pumps, and I may be thinking, okay, I need to create a big system for my new factory that specializes in renewable hydraulic energy, right? And I want to actually source from let's say a veteran-owned business, so I filter it to 90 suppliers. And as I'm browsing through this, I'm like, okay, there are some really good companies. This company seems to be having the right capabilities, carrying all the right brands. So let me select this supplier. And I may pick a few because they seem like they're quite similar, and I want to really compare these suppliers. So there are a few of them that I've just picked, and I can actually click the compare button. And at this point, you will see that all the information you saw from the previous screen has been organized in a way that makes it extremely easy for you to eyeball. And remember, I demonstrated to you that you can download all summary reports. Here, you can generate multiple reports as well. So imagine you spend 10 minutes and you generate 4 reports, put it into your, Microsoft Share Drive or your Google Drive, plus this epic data sheet. It makes you look like you've done 5 hours of work. But actually, the secret is Thomas content team has done all the work for you. Now, you may say, this is all great, and I noticed some of these are shortlisted and some of them are not. What is that, Kathy? To that, I would say eagle eye. So on Thomas, you can always click a supplier and you can add them into your supplier shortlist. So let's see here, I would like to save this particular company into my profile. So let me just click this. And at this point, thomasnet.com would prompt you and said, hey, we've added BIPSCO into your list of saved suppliers, but you can even further organize it. Say, I actually have a wind turbine project that I've been working on since August last year. I'm just going to add this to an existing shortlist, and you can click it here. Now, let's look at this shortlist together. So I have all these amazing projects that I'm working on, and I want to just, now that I've added 10 suppliers to it, I want to take a quick look and compare all the suppliers that I've been accruing for the last year. And I can actually download it into a CSV file. Let me slow down and make it bigger for all of you so you can see it. And all the structured data that we kind of talk about, including the company name, the URLs of all of their companies, their profiles on Thomas, their addresses, and the size of the company, as well as the type of manufacturers and even years found, and export markets that they serve. They're all there on the page. So yes, and I think Lizette has a really good example. Can you download a summary report if you're not a subscriber? Great question. Again, if you are registered on thomasnet.com, which is completely free, you can download all the reports. So there's no fee to it. I hope that clarifies your question. Everything I'm showing you guys today, I know it's hard to believe, is actually free of charge. So now we talk about how you can export all the data. So I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about, structured company information and how you evaluate that. So let me just make it big for you. So on every single company profile, you will see the business details tab, where we'll show you, the company capability. For example, whether or not they are a custom manufacturer or they're a finishing service company, the quality certifications and a full list of them, if they're a diverse company, as well as all the other structured data we already talked about. The reason why we're pausing here is because I just wanted to give you a few seconds to understand the key to all these iconography. So whenever you see this kind of certificate icon right here in green, it means that there are certificates available for you to download. We deep link all certification and certificates on our site. So when you click it, a PDF would actually pop up, and this is the original certificate available provided by the companies, or we're able to verify it with external sources. And when you see this little exit box, it means that when you click on this page, we're taking you to the manufacturer website, but not just the home page. The web page that specify that they have the Pressure Equipment Directive 2014-68 EU certifications. And when you see this gold star, this is my favorite. When you click through it, usually it means that we actually can verify, and we're linking to a third-party trustworthy source that validated the claim of this company, for example, being a minority-owned business or women-owned business. And occasionally, and very rarely, because we always try to verify with a traceable source, we do have self-reported information from suppliers, but we make it really clear, so this is the information given to us by the supplier, so you can make a judgment on the value you place in that information. So this is all done on a slide. So I want to actually show you how it looks like on the web page. So using the example from above, I can pop over to Stephen Gold, for example, and underneath this company page, you now see all the information that we talked about, right? So, and I'm actually going to pop over and add a really kind of important and fast-growing sourcing trend that I'm seeing. So bottling services, right, custom bottling, let's see. So within this, I am looking at this pharma solution company. And again, you really can see all the quality certifications and registration. The reason why I use a bottling industry example is sometimes you may want a food safe or medical safe sort of suppliers to help you do white label manufacturing. When you click over to this link, like we said, sorry, this is not for you to see. Yeah, so we screen grabbed the capability from the supplier website for you. And here, let me also pop over to show you, yes, this is the same really good example of linking to the certifications. Now back to my fastener, example. We can also see Chicago Nuts and Bolts. That's another fantastic manufacturer. And here I have a certification example. And when I click it, like I said, you actually can see the certification issued in 2015, as well as a link to the Pressure Equipment Directive example, where when you scroll to the bottom of the page, you see all the certification information on the page as well. Right, perfect. Yeah. And Michael, yes, this presentation will be made available in its full recording, and also the presentation deck will be available for you as well. And one thing I like to say also, and I know this presentation is really about us showing you the breadth and depth of Thomas, but also with the pandemic, it's harder for us to meet new people. So I always also love to overshare and democratize macro information about what's going on in the industry to help you prepare for your future. So for the last few years, I'm not going to recap what happened. Everyone has their own story. It's been crazy. But what is interesting is we did notice that website and emails are now really important as a digital marketing tool. One thing that I'm extremely proud of when it comes to the Thomas video team is we have actually mobilized our video production company and created, may I say, almost Hollywood level video with drone photography, high definition transition, and really kind of the best photographers in your region that can come to you and do amazing sexy shots of machining bolts and nuts, right? Like sorry, as a nerd, I get really excited when we are able to tell stories through visual, great visual styles. So we learned that 69% of people now prefer to learn about a product through video even before they talk to a sales rep. And 95% of the message is retained when people are using video as opposed to just words alone. And we do have a video advertising program, not selling you here. It's $2,700 a year, and I came from media, and I know this is an amazing package. So why am I telling you this? Because for you as a buyer, when you look at content search results, let me pop back into the previous screen, there's a really great tool that you may not be aware of. Is the fact that we now have a factory tour filter on our search results. So instead of you having to go on the road and forget about putting your kids to bed or your dog, you know, you can't walk your dog and all of that, that's sad. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You can be on Thomas and click the factory tour video. You can meet the crew, and you can even see how they are manufacturing the product. You can see the machines. You can see, you know, their back office, the capability. This is like, looks like a great, you know, a water cut machine. You know, is that laser? I'm like showing you how good my manufacturing techniques are. But for engineers that are really interested about tolerance, right? Like you literally can see things being measured in front of you. So remember on Thomas, when you're filtering your search result, there is a new feature called Factory Tour. And when you filter by that search result, you are literally sitting with a cup of coffee, visiting manufacturers from the whole USA and Canada at your fingertips. And if you want this to be made for your company, it's $2,700. I'm not responsible for it, but we can always connect you with the right team member. Now, we talk about how you can search and evaluate with your suppliers. Let's do a quick recap for the second part of our presentation, where we talk through you can select multiple suppliers, up to 5 at a time, for that big table comparison. On this page, you can click the download button to extract the PDF. Again, you know, to Lazette question, as long as you're registered, you can download the report for free. It takes up to 30 minutes for that report to be generated. And you can choose multiple suppliers, up to 5 at a time, to add to your shortlist. But you can actually add unlimited numbers of people, companies onto your shortlist, just 5 at a time. And once you're there, you can actually pop over to your register account on Thomas. Under supplier shortlist, you can export any supplier list at any given moment. And all of that data would turn into an Excel sheet. For the Excel nerd in the room, you must be rejoicing. Yes, and the third part of this presentation is how you can connect with the suppliers. So let me also again swing back to the real life example. This is the easiest part, right? So say I really like these 5 companies and they're all the fasteners manufacturers that I've shortlisted. I now want to talk to them. You can actually click the request info button and fill in your request and when you need the responses and send them a message. You can even upload, you know, your NDA or any files up here, share your contact information. Here, I want to make it absolutely clear that when you talk to suppliers, you're talking to them directly. And if they are busy or they're dealing with the supply chain problems and they don't immediately get back to you, or you've been waiting for a few days, we encourage you to pick up the phone and call them, because even though we are like 99% digital or 99.99% digital, a lot of manufacturers we notice still prefer to talk to people on the phone and kind of respond to their inquiry with follow-ups. So for those of you who are, you know, procurement leads, you understand what I'm talking about. So the best practice we notice to maximize the response you get is to submit an RFI and then also follow up with phone calls and sometimes emails to make sure that they get your responses, because honestly, the supply chain right now is a little bit of a mess and everyone is super busy. Now, you can fill in this whole form and submit your custom quotes. And in addition, I want to give you a really good example that really is fantastic. We have a lot of engineers and prototype professionals coming to us, and sometimes you might just recently have switched spend category, and you may be like, Kath, you know, I've been asked to source a part that I've never seen before. So if it's a part that's completely new, you can pop over to the custom quotes section on thomasnet.com. I'm going to demonstrate in a second, but here you actually can share any files with us, and our engineering team will share with you up to 5 suppliers that we think can help provide you with the services you need. So when you're on Thomas again, you can pop over to our main homepage. When you kind of look at the navigator, you see this custom quotes feature. And you can get started, you can fill in the form, and within the form you can tell us the type of services or processes you're looking for, and you can, any information you can give me will help us create a short list for you, again at no cost to you. So this is called custom quotes. You can even attach CAT drawing or NDA, and to make sure that, you know, the receiving end of the suppliers that you contact can have access to those files as well. Now, you may say, this is really great, but will I be able to get instant availability and lead time information? Now, this is why our kind of recent union with Xometry becomes really exciting. So Xometry has a lot of fantastic capability with CNC manufacturing, custom machining, as well as additive manufacturing, such as 3D printing prototype capability. They have like, you know, laser cutting, as well as plastic injection molding and other injection molding services as well. The biggest difference is you can actually bring your design file onto Xometry.com, upload it, again, at no cost to you to upload and get some data for your procurement brief, where almost for all capabilities, you get instant feedback on lead time, availability, and the manufacturers that can provide the capability for you. And the great thing is they also have an incredible engineering technical team. And guys, I've been in manufacturing since I was a child, growing up in a toy factory, hearing my uncle talking about injection molding in Cantonese. But I have to say, the Xometry engineering team are very passionate about what they do. And so when you upload a file, you're not just trying to find a part. You now engage with a team of industry leading experts at your disposal that can help you find the best suppliers to co-create your product with you. Now, I think, let's see, this is actually really a super quick tour when it comes to all thomasnet.com core feature. To recap, on Thomas, we have 560,000 company profiles, and we organize all of this information as structured data. You can use our advanced search filter to refine your search results. You can check multiple suppliers for comparison and then create short list of suppliers. Remember, you can add 5 suppliers at a time to add to your short list in bulk, but there's no limit as to how many suppliers you can add to a shortlist. So once you have created your kind of primary list, you can then export all the data into CSV. And finally, for custom quotes, if you have parts you've never done before, if you're actually being asked to create like a new plastic metal injection molding, you can use our custom quotes service. But if you think, hey, what about I want real-time information for availability and lead time, pop over to Xometry.com and upload your file, and they'll help you over there as well. Before I part, I just wanted to give you 5 really helpful resources. So number 1, everything I've spoken about today, you can actually review them in the Ultimate Thomas Sourcing ebook. This is an epic ebook, Mariah. It's I can see the love she put in this ebook. It really documents all the step-by-step guide, including video instructions on everything we covered today. In addition, by the way, all of these links will be sent to you after this webinar, so don't worry about frantically finding it on the deck and clicking it through. The other aspect of it is if you are a technical engineer or you are a manufacturing company owners, you may feel alone at times where the Department of Defense just issued a CMMC, new cybersecurity certification program. I have no one I can call up and get help from. This is actually where we come in. We interview industry best expert and create long form deep guide over 4,000 words and send it to you again for free, because our job is to help your business thrive. You should focus on innovating, creating, manufacturing, producing, and Thomas will help you take care of all the other things that you need to keep up with to run your business, such as cybersecurity, marketing, digital sales, all of that. So yes, within our technical content, we recently produced a lot of great content on how you can supercharge your cybersecurity system, but many other things like the difference between AC and DC motor, how does a heat exchanger work? And during the pandemic, we wrote a really deep guide on how N95 masks are actually manufactured, and it has over 500,000 page views on that. And on a daily basis, please make sure you subscribe to the Thomas Daily newsletter. My mother-in-law, she used to be a Wall Street executive in information technology for a private equity firm, and her jokes to me is, Thomas Industry Update is helping me be so informed about the industry, and just to find out what everyone else is doing in the industry is a very powerful tool. And our internal goal is we want you to go to work and be the smartest person every Monday in the boardroom. So do make sure you subscribe to it if you're not. And one really cool thing I want to share with the engineers on the call is if you're someone that's responsible for injection molding services and you have to kind of figure out different types of finishing, Sometry actually has a fantastic custom plastic molded prototype cards at no cost. We're gifting it to those who are sourcing injection molding, and Mariah will send the link to you. All you need to do is to fill in a quick form, and the fulfillment team will take care of you as well. And Sometry also has a fantastic guide to 3D printing. We're seeing that there's a tremendous amount of interest from aerospace, defense, medical, you name it, in using 3D printing to help them reduce prototyping cost and manufacturing initial run kind of overall up and running costs as well. So here's a great guide. We'll make sure we send it to you before the end of this week. So this really is the end of our presentation. So let me pop back to the question and see if there's anything I haven't answered yet.